Yo, 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 it's Thursday night. We're back for an hour full of fun, laughter, and no cynicism.
None at all.
None. Zero.
Although I will tell you, I've just got done reading some comments, which is never a good thing.
You never read the comments, man.
Nah, you should never read the comments.
Speaking of comments,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, one of my old videos testing the Sony, the 400-watt head unit, the one you could bridge, I
Yeah.
forget the model number.
Yeah.
I've been getting random like whatever it's just picked up in views,
Mm-hmm.
and people are just commenting random people's names.
Yes. That seems to be a thing.
What's going on with
I,
that?
I don't know. I was, when I was going through some views the other night, I was like, because every now and then, like, there's a legit question that I'll
Right, yeah,
take
that
an
you can
answer.
answer.
But,
Yeah.
when you get somebody that's just like, bro, I don't understand. This is so stupid. Why would anybody want to buy? I don't really, I
Yeah.
have no answer for you. But I noticed that I found like a bunch of them, and I was like,
Yeah.
delete, delete, delete,
Yeah, this is
delete.
like what's going on?
Yeah, I guess that's probably a new thing. Um,
Gotta
yeah,
be.
very strange.
Listen, I hope that person wasn't talking about the Hag Talar because that thing is freaking dope.
Well, here's the funny thing: you make a video, you put it
Yeah.
out in the public, and the public has at it. They get to go have their fun, and they get to say what they would like, because that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, And a lot of the times they don't know what it is that they're saying, or they don't know what they're looking at, or you know, like, I don't know what temperature you're supposed to cook French fries at when you work at McDonald's. It's just not my thing, you know. But I'm sure if I saw you doing it, I'm gonna be like, "Are you sure that's the right temperature?" No, I'm not gonna do that. I really don't care. Um, or they'll say something snarky, and in their head they think it's so funny,
Yeah, they were so quick with it.
and it's like, okay, so one of the things I've always laughed at, it's like, I get it. When you're a lot of people on YouTube, like yourself, that
Yeah.
they do it for fun. Do it for fun. We review amplifiers, we put some stuff out there, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's why not? I mean, that's that at the heart of everything should be what it's all about. But then when you we're different,
Yeah.
because like we do it for a living, and we
Yeah.
have like real world experience 6 days a week of just nonstop. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Does that make it the most end all be all? No, but it just means we have a lot of things come through our hands. Good evening. And you don't know us. You just saw it because it popped up in your feed, and you thought it'd be funny to say something stupid.
Yeah.
Rock on, man. And then I got to read it, and I got to be like, okay. And
I'll
then
tell
people,
you.
why don't you respond to your comments? Because I don't want to read them.
And I rarely comment on things, but I'll tell you what it did make me do that video. I seen it on lunch break, so I was like, "Look where I was at."
Oh yeah.
Not even joking, dude. Like when I seen that thing was $299.
Oh,
That is cheap in my opinion
I didn't even know how much it was. I've never
for
even
what
looked.
that is. Like the design is cool. The leather strap, it looks like headphones on
Oh
there,
yeah.
dude. That thing's
Bro, it
fire.
hammers.
Yeah,
It hammers. Listen
and
to
it's got
that,
like all the colors.
dude.
Oh
If
man,
you listen to it on your phone, you got to hear it with headphones, dude. That
yeah.
thing.
I need to. I was listening to. Yeah, I was just watching it on my phone. Yeah, I didn't check it out with headphones.
No, man, dude, it rock. When I was at it, I was like, damn, like, it rocks.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it looks awesome. And when I seen it was 299, I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to get one.
So the funny thing was, is I was listening to it today, listening to the podcast, because I was in, and I was like, for one thing, Brian's voice is way too bassy. I was like, okay, so Brian needs to dial down.
Change his voice.
He needs to. Well, so he's screwing with his EQ because he thinks his voice. He doesn't understand this.
Yeah,
So he hears his voice and he thinks, "Oh, my voice
I
shouldn't
got to
sound like that."
DSP that. I got to
Yeah,
DSP
and it's
that.
like, stop doing that. So his voice is way bassy, and I was like, okay, that's not good. My voice sounds just like it always does.
Right.
But I I need to gain up the podcast because it's for some reason it's playing really low compared to what the next podcast played at. I was like, oh shit. So
mine was. What do you have a level that you set it to?
I just leave it alone. I've
Yeah.
never gained it up or down, but I have separated the voices. So
Yeah.
I have his heavy right and I have mine heavy left, and I'm
Right.
working on that.
So you don't do a mixed mono then?
Well, no, what I want to do is I want to make it sound like if you're listening to it in your car, I want it to sound like Brian's on the passenger side of the car and I'm on the
Right.
driver's side of the car. So it's the last 2 podcasts have had that. So if you listen to it in your car, you'll notice that Brian's a little further this way and I'm a little further
Yeah.
this way. It's not tragic because I'm playing with it still, but I fall asleep to the seductive sounds of Brian's deep voice. It's false. You've heard him, you know it's not that loud.
Well, and I always listen. I listened to the episode today, and a matter of fact, I wrote a note to remind me to bring this up. But I just listen to a single headphone while I'm working. So I thought the level was okay. It was fine for me.
It's not bad. It's just the next one came on and it almost scared me.
It blasted you.
Maybe I should turn that up.
What do you level your YouTube videos out to? Do you?
So
I go to 0 usually.
I've always just used the same pair of headphones. I mean,
Yeah.
I use them forever and ever and ever. So like my soundtrack is always super low. Like it's at like in Final Cut, it's at -30.
That's about what I do it in Luma as well.
So it's like you can if you can barely hear it. It's just there to fill in the quiet spots, which I typically don't have, but every now and then it just moves it along because I don't like hearing just white noise in the background. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So
I put it really low too. Then like my voice, I used to try to keep it like -6 to -3 dB, but everybody that watches is deaf or on their phone, so I did have to turn it up to. I have to go to 0.
Yeah.
So
what days are 5-star morning shows, and what platform? So the morning show is the news, and the news you can find Friday at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, and that one is on 5-star YouTube or 5-star Facebook and Dino Fernando's Car Stereo Clips YouTube channel. So it's on 3 different networks. And then Monday night at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time is the Monday show, which is on Facebook and YouTube 5-star channel. And then Saturday at 5 p.m. is the weekend show, which there again is on Facebook and YouTube 5-star channel. So, and then it all gets rebroadcast. So, but those are the days that we're live. And then Instagram is just the 5-star Instagram page, and that could be whenever. We don't really have a set time for that. It's whenever we have a
usually
moment.
sometime before 3 in my experience.
Yeah, we try to aim for, so it's either like sometime before 3 or sometime after 5.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, let's
Yeah, we forgot.
yeah. Well, it's not. Yeah, it's one of those. It's weird. Sometimes you just.
It's like a jump rope, and you're looking for your spot to jump in.
Yeah, sometimes you're just not feeling it.
Yeah,
you know, like today I was like, I should probably do it. Fernando's out. He had his wisdom teeth pulled, so today was day number 2. So we had him pulled out yesterday in the morning.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'll be there tomorrow, and I go, okay. And then but so it's funny because he's the kind of guy that like just doesn't call or anything. Like he doesn't. It's like when I text Fernando on like I don't know if he'll ever, like, I know he's got his phone. Literally, he has his phone with him all the time, and he's got notifications turned on, so he's getting, but he won't respond back. And he'll be, I'm like, dude, really? He'll be like, oh, I didn't see it. I'm like, well, that's because there's 27 notifications you had.
Exactly.
So, Dean, what is Chris saying? When you got a big project coming in, I would love to help y'all on a big build.
Make him
Would you really though?
Make him do all the stuff that Fernando usually has to do.
So, did you decide if you were going to finals?
I'm going to finals. I took the day off. I haven't booked a hotel yet, but
so you're going to finals. Chris is going to go to finals.
Chris is going to be at finals.
We'll be at finals, and then I talked to There's a 50-50 shot Sage might actually join us in finals.
Oh man.
So this could be a who's who of who's who.
That'll be a good trip.
Yeah,
Good
it's
fun trip.
definitely.
Well, you can see I left a note here from the pot, and you can see the exact time I listened to it. It was 8:51 a.m. today.
I wasn't awake. Yep. Okay.
Brian calling out fake tube amps. Hilarious.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I like people, because people swear that they got a real tube amp in car audio. It's like there might be some that I don't know about, but the ones I've seen are just either lights, like he said, or it's a preamp section at the very most.
At the most. Well, you like what I called him out right away. I said, "Oh, easy there, Butler."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, well, those." And I
right. Yeah,
like,
they do. There is some. There.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
is
yeah.
some.
Yeah. But those.
But the
were
Butler's
also
still
like,
it's a preamp, right?
honestly, I don't even remember what Butler had. I just know they were freaking expensive. I mean, let's be honest. I don't like tube amps in a house are a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know. So if I lived up north, I would bring out my tube amp in like November, December, January, February, where the house is freezing.
Heat it
I
up.
would use it to heat my house.
Yeah.
Because it's just they're just so not efficient, and they just get so hot. And and I always love looking at like Dayton makes a couple of the tube amps.
Yeah, and they make like a headphone version and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like they're fake.
Yeah, and there's a few Chinese brands, and those you'll see a lot of those like little desk amps. I don't know what you would call them, but they're meant for like headphones, or they're meant for like speakers. And
I got a portable one. It's cool. It's got 2 little tubes in it.
Yeah,
fake as shit. Oh, it looks so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I've heard a real tube headphone amp, freaking awesome. I've heard a real tube home amp that was great.
Yeah.
I would never run one personally, but then again, I'm not going to run any of the old class AB amps that I thought were awesome back in the day either today. So,
I mean, like I said, in the thing, I was like, I would love to have a tube amp, really nice set of monitors that I can just sit back and enjoy. But
yeah,
I'll never do it.
No,
I'll never do it. So screw that. I'll just pass. But wife wants to go to Graceland. Ugh.
We just went there last year.
You can have it.
Swing by Birmingham.
We won't be there Sunday. We're only going to be there Saturday.
I will be driving back home as well Sunday.
Yeah, it's just a Saturday deal because it's a 9-hour drive and I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
But you can see Brian. Brian will be there on Sunday. But everyone else will be gone.
I mean, he's got to be there to collect all his trophies, right?
No, he's not competing.
He's not competing.
No, he's not competing.
Whoa.
No, he'll have the robot car there on display, so you can listen to that. It's not done, but it's done enough to have audio.
Yeah.
And that's it. He'll just be. I think he might be doing some judging or something. I think he might be judging the money round. Generally, it's only a tube on the input stage.
Yeah, preamp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's funny. AdCom, one of my favorite SQ amps. I actually have an AdCom.
That's one of my favorite SQ amps that I think that I've ever listened to. Probably.
I have an AdCom.
Is it like the GFA? Is it a small or is it like a surfboard?
Oh no, it's a GFA. Well, it's a home amp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and they do the same.
Not the 2 weeks that they made the car amps.
Yeah, they do the same for the car amps.
Yeah, you remember what GFA stands for, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great F and amp.
Yes. Oh, you didn't say it, bro.
It's too early.
Yeah, well, I don't want to die on the way home.
Yeah.
No, we got to get back because we're gonna have Sebastian, so we'll have Junior with us. So we got to get him back so we can go to school on Monday. So because we're taking him out of school on Friday.
Oh man.
So, we don't need him to get stupid over the weekend.
Yeah. Hello from.
Oh, Vera will be there the whole time. Wow. Okay, go crazy, man.
Nice, man.
Yeah. But hello from Japan. Wow, very nice.
Hello from the United States.
Very cool. What are your current favorite car audio tracks?
This is based on your go-to tracks that you and Brian had an episode on.
Yes.
But it's a little different. Like, what's your favorite tracks that you're kind of listening to right now? Because you can't listen to the same thing all the time without sprinkling a few new things in.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Well, what do you got for me?
All right, I have some. I actually have a playlist, and so one of them, a new one is I Don't Care Anymore, Phil Collins.
Like old school?
Yep, great drums on that run. Really great drum section on that one.
So here's a funny one. Phil Collins Face Value. When he made Face Value, he had done some drums for Peter Gabriel because so Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins are associated because Peter Gabriel used to be the lead singer of Genesis, and Phil Collins came in to be the drummer. And then Peter Gabriel was like, I'm going to go do something else. And he needed a drummer to do a drum track. So he hired Phil Collins to come in and do a song for him. But Peter Gabriel doesn't like cymbals.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do this weird thing with the drums and some reverb to create the higher frequencies out of the drum without using a cymbal.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in Face Value, when you hear the do 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 do, there's no cymbal in that, even though it sounds like there's one there. There's actually not one there in the recording because he took what he learned from Peter Gabriel and moved it into that track, which I thought was intriguing. Yeah, where I've seen him play it with a cymbal, but I could be wrong. They might play it in concert with a cymbal just because
maybe
it's a little easier to do that. But the original recording, they did the same thing that he had did for Peter Gabriel. Yeah. So anyway,
that one has like it's great. It's probably one of my favorite drum sections that he does. Plus, he has like a really cool synth on his voice.
Yeah,
in that one that sounds pretty cool. I'm trying to find my other playlist here. I don't know how I've lost it, but
so if you're a Phil Collins fan, Phil Collins did a jazzy album where he took some of his songs and kind of rewrote them as jazzy songs with no words. And hold on, it is called. Hold on, it's gonna try to play here. I don't want it to play. It's called A Hot Night in Paris.
A Hot Night in Paris.
So, and it's Phil Collins Big Band. So it's got this is the cover here. It's like a half naked chick or a full naked chick. Drawn cartoon. Anyways, so it's really weird to listen to because, like, you know, he does Susudio and all these others. Invisible Touch, Chips and Salsa, Hold My Head, I Don't Care Anymore, Milestone, Against All Odds, Picking the Pieces, and a couple others. And it's weird because it's big band. So there's all the big band stuff that's going on. And you can almost hear, like, Susudio. It's in there.
Yeah.
But it's not in there, you know, and it's like you're in your head, you've heard it a million times, so you're playing it along, and it's like, what the frick is going on? It just totally blows your mind away because it's like,
dude, I love stuff like that. We were sitting in California at a dive place where we ate the clam chowder, you know?
Yeah.
And I hear in the background, I'm like, I told Cassie, like, you know what that is? She's like, it sounds kind of familiar, but it was like a jazzed up, it was like a scat, you know, whatever they call that. It was Where Is My Mind by the Pixies, redone in a scat format. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. I heard some I was at the dentist and I heard like some like AC/DC that somebody had redone as like bluegrass. And I was like, what the hell is this? You know?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, there's another one that I use.
Okay.
And well, we don't got to play it, but
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
But this is it. It's Soak. I Can't Make You Love Me.
Okay.
So I like the tweeters a little hot on mine. This
Lots of people
one
do.
will tell you very quickly if you're too hot on your tweeters. Once she gets into the chorus, her voice is so high and powerful at those high volumes that you'll know instantly. And it's actually a really great song, but you'll know instantly if your tweeters are too hot. So, and if you're not, it's almost like In the Air Tonight. So
What was her name? Soak?
Soak, yeah. Soak, I Can't Make You Love Me.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Slow down. Okay. Perfect.
Yep. And you'll know instantly. But it's like on In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins.
Right.
Like when he says, I remember, when it goes to that part.
Hey, we're gonna just keep playing it.
There you go. Hey.
Okay.
But that's one that is it. I think it's a great song, but also it's a great test of how you are in the tweeters. You can also, if you're too light on the tweeters, you'll know instantly because it'll just be kind of dull. So
okay, I was looking up this Holly. I'm like, why is my phone not searching? And then I realized I had it set up for not searching Apple Music.
yeah.
I'm like, wait, what is going on here? Yeah, kind of sucked.
With bass heavy electronic music, is it even worth it to get a component set? Yeah, of course, obviously.
Why would you not?
Yeah, I mean, you might get one component set over the other depending on what type of music you listen to, but upgrading from factory, 100%.
Well, let's look at it like this. Let's put it into terms that everyone understands, right?
Yeah.
If you go to a if you I took the screen. Okay. So if we go to a venue,
yeah,
and we're listening to music, okay, regardless of what the music is. So if we go to one of these rave parties or glow stick parties or Captain Cool Guy DJ parties, which like I love listening to that stuff on Instagram, like the big crazy festivals and all that stuff.
what's up, Ken?
Hey. There's speakers, okay, in front of you, and they're arrays, meaning they're not just all 6.5s. All right, there's a tweeter, there's a mid range, there's a giant mid range. There's usually sub cabinets buried somewhere, and so you have this wall of sound that's coming at you. Each speaker is designed to deliver a different part of that. Now, as far as a component goes, now we're in a car, right? Where we don't have a lot of room. So a big speaker, like a 6.5-inch coaxial, is going to go on the bottom of the door, right? Because we don't have room to put it up on the dash. We put an array of 6.5-inch coaxials across the bottom of the door. Great. It's going to fill the cab with tons of sound. However, it is going to keep the sound down very low in the car, even though it's going to be loud. It's just all going to be coming from this area here. So, which is fine, right? That's cool. We used to do that back in the 90s. Wall of subs, array of speakers, and it just like blah. Well, you might not have. Let's say you got 2 giant subs in the back, okay? And if that's all you're looking to do, cool. But you're gonna put some horn tweeters up in the top of the dash because you're like, that's just silly. I got holes. I'm gonna put some horns up in the top of the dash, and you say, okay. So now instead of putting a coax on the bottom of the door, I'm either going to put an open back or a closed back, and I might do an array across the bottom with that to couple up with that. With the tweeter, now the tweeter is going to bring the soundstage up because it's going to be 170 dBs of efficiency blasting across the top of the car, making your ears bleed, mid-range across the side, somewhere from the back. I've just built a small array inside of my vehicle. I've lifted the soundstage up, so now it's coming off of the windshield, and it's much more enjoyable than coming from the floor. So even if you're a bass head and all you want to do is loudspeakers, an array throughout the car will work. So, and it's funny. So Power Bass just started making component sets with loudspeakers.
Oh,
Okay.
I've seen a few companies do that.
So
Yeah.
you can buy it,
Mhm.
comes with a big 3.5 inch, comes with a 6.5, and it comes with a big passive crossover. I was like, why isn't it taking this long for these guys to do this? Because
Yeah.
like this is cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not putting them in, but I mean, yeah, why not? So there again, you might also want to not listen to crazy loud music every day. And you might be like, I just want to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
So then having what we call normal audio speakers, so the standards, not loudspeakers, but standard, and then you put a nice set of components in and you can listen to everything. And then on, Friday at 5 o'clock, when you're like, I'm gonna Fred Durst this bitch, you know,
Yeah.
blast the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So it just depends. It depends how much room do you want to move. If all you want all day long is to sound like this with the
Yeah.
hell yeah, bro, rock on.
When you just got to be honest with yourself. What do you truly want? Don't get the SQ set because everyone says SQ is cool. That might not be your thing.
Oh
Your
no.
thing might be you want it to be you want it to keep up with the bass. If
Oh,
you
my
want it
ears
to keep
bleed.
up with the bass, you probably want some Pro Sound speakers or something like that that can handle a ton of power and get you a lot of sound for a reasonable amount of money. Whereas if you're going with all the SQ speakers, you're going to need a lot of them to get the same thing. So just be honest with yourself. Are you an SQ guy? Are you somewhere in the middle? If you're somewhere in the middle, you probably want a regular component set still versus a Pro Sound. But if you're just gonna jam it out and you don't need your mids playing below 100 or 120 hertz, well, then just put them in there. Put the Pro Sound in there and let it rip.
It's funny. If I could have one track, they're talking about their one track, and they're
Yeah,
talking about some yellow, which is cool. If you liked yellow and all those things from back in the '90s, check out Spies.
hmm.
Spies is a really good one. That's the name of the group. It's a fantastic track. Lots of frilly shit that sounds really nice. But to be honest, if I could design a track that was just one track, it'd be like a 4-minute track,
Right.
and it would literally just like start with, yeah,
There
there
you
you
go.
go. It would literally just start with like somebody talking from the center, and then
Yeah.
talking on the right, talking on the left, a nice drum beat, some
Okay. I'm envisioning it like a Talking Heads, like a
yeah,
they're
yeah. But not musical. I don't want music
yeah
at first. I don't need music at first. Like I'm long way down the road. I'm doing so much more before I start playing music.
yeah
It's I need it set up for, like, if I get in a car and you step right into music and you don't have that bitch dialed in, I'm immediately disappointed.
yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't enjoy the music, because it's like, well, you got one speaker in your car and it's over here in the corner.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Okay. Oh, is that what we're listening to? All right. Well, let's listen to that. Okay. Let's do this. Um, so, which is fine. It's like I just need to know what I'm stepping into. But I would like a track that, like, talks about some stuff and you move around, and then
Yeah.
they play some instruments, and then they do like a sweep where it's like, you can just hear the sound go out
Right.
and the sound come in. So you can see how wide.
So you want like a Blu-ray setup, Dolby Atmos setup
Yeah,
situation
like an old
so-
school.
for
Yeah,
cars, basically.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but see, we're talking about a car.
Right.
So all the formulas for distance between drivers depending on crossover frequencies. This is a car. So we're looking at factory locations, and we're gonna try to make a car sound as good as we can. That's why we buy DSPs that have delay built into them,
Right.
so that we can
Back in the day,
overcome such things.
that's why everyone used kick panels because they're trying to get some kind of aim with their
Well, they
speaker.
were trying to match the wavelengths.
Right. And then you have big 30 band EQs, one for the left, one for the right, and
Rain, make it rain.
you're doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, Spies Music of Espionage. Yeah, Teklar. I still have the CD, but you can listen to it on Apple Music. Someone asked me about that this past weekend, and I was like, yeah, it's still there. Fresh
Yeah,
air.
most of my test tracks, it has to be songs I really like because like Spanish Harlem, really great SQ track. Hate it. Like matter of fact, if I hear Spanish Harlem in Alabama, as soon as it comes on, I'm getting out of the car. No
Well,
word.
that's like when you listen to
Hell freezes over. The live version of the Eagles Hotel California.
well, that's terrible.
Yeah.
And so's anything by Johnny Cash. Like they all
Oh,
love
like
Johnny
hurt,
Cash.
like hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Although
don't
I
know.
do love that song, but I just
I
yeah
don't. It kills me, man. It
yeah
just all kills me. I mean, the reality is I want to play the stuff that the customer is going to be listening to.
right
And most of the time you go to the customer and they're like, "Hey, what do you listen to?" And they're like, "Oh, I listen to everything." I'm like, "Could you narrow that down to like maybe 3 genres?"
yeah
So I listen to speed metal. Okay.
right
That's not one I have. Can you give me an idea? Give me an artist, give me
yeah
something to play off of here so I can be like, I have no idea what that's supposed to sound like. So I got to play it in something that I know what they sound like, and then I'll listen to it and go, oh, okay, this
yeah
is cool. My daughter gets mad as at half the time I play the songs that make the stereo sound good.
yeah
I feel that's the other thing too, is that there are some songs that I just can't play because they sound so bad
yeah
in any system. Like,
dude.
right?
There's one that I love that, and I just came. It was a song that I loved from 10 or 15 years ago, and it just came back. And I guess I didn't realize back in the day how bad that recording is. They might. Oh, "Let My Love Adorn You." Cannot think of the name of the guy.
So I'm gonna have to go back after the show. I got to go back through here and get everyone's recommendations. Um, no, so it's like "Bright Lights, Big City" by CeeLo Green. Great
Yeah,
song. Sounds like shit.
yeah.
The
The
whole
song I
it's
was
just
talking about,
so
"Adorned"
distorted.
by Miguel.
What's that?
"Adorned" by Miguel.
Mm.
Recorded, great song, great like slow jam song, but it is recorded horribly.
Softly and tenderly sucks. I mean, some people are into that kind of
Dude,
thing.
I love Fleetwood Mac as a band, so I'm always playing Fleetwood Mac too.
Dude, it's so funny when I introduced Fernando to Fleetwood Mac. I think it was Chain. He goes, "Whoa, what is this?" I'm like, "Fleetwood Mac, bro."
Yeah,
He's like, "This is cool."
people are dropping some bangers in here.
So, man, yes. Are you listening
This
to
is
the
true.
song or
Hey,
the gear?
that's kind of one of my pet
I
peeves.
love that.
I
Dude, your
I
daughter
I'm
is
the
on
opposite.
point, man.
I like listening to so the reason I got into car audio is because I love music. Not
I love the
everybody.
gear.
Not I know that's what I'm saying. I would say that I'm in the minority.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
no.
it's probably like a 30 or 40, 70, 60 split, something like that. But
No.
I love music first and foremost, and then the speakers and subwoofers came second to that.
Oh, I got to take a picture of this because I think that needs to be a podcast that I asked Brian about. I love that.
That'd be a
That's
good
the
one. Yeah.
best, man.
Yeah.
Are you listening to the song or the gear? No, good job. Pat her on the back for me. That's fantastic. Now, every now and then, man, we'll get like, I always laugh because like on the show sometimes I'll get this banger question and I'm just like, that's a great question. I love it,
Mhm.
because it begs the question, and I,
Yeah.
I love it when we get that one and usually can figure it out because I'll like go way too long into answering
Right.
the question, but it's a great question. And it's like something like that I just can't bring up, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because it won't sell. But if somebody asks it, it's like, oh, yeah, you know. So, and like that statement, that's a fantastic statement.
Yeah.
I mean, on
What?
accident, she's pure genius. Pure
Right.
genius.
And it's like my buddy in Texas. He will listen. All his music choices are based on the gear. So he'll listen to his music when he's just jamming around. When he's showing you, it's a specific music to show you a specific portion that he's proud of on
Yes.
his system.
Yeah.
It's like I could appreciate that.
Yeah. No, I play Steely Dan all the time. I'm a big Steely Dan fan.
Yeah, still it's awesome.
So funny story. Funny story. Naturally, when I was growing up, I grew up in Michigan. We had a radio station called WLLZ, super out of Detroit, very popular station. Where I'm from is where all these rock bands would come and perform, and it was the rock and roll mecca. Detroit, for some reason, yeah, Detroit City rocks. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why Kiss sung about it. So my buddy had two older brothers, and this is the 70s, and they were all into this shit, records. So we go over to his house and we just jam out to records. I have no idea who any of this stuff is. I didn't know who AC/DC was. I didn't know, all those bands, all those 70s rock bands that I listen to now. Didn't know, and he would just play this stuff, and it was really cool. So I'm working at AVE, and I've never heard Steely Dan in my life because I listened to hair bands. I was a rocker, and like owner's playing some fucking Moody Blues and Steely Dan, and I'm like, what the fuck what is this shit?
Yeah.
And he goes, bro, that's Donald Fagen, and I go, I'm not gonna say it now because I can't. Back then, you know what I would have said.
I know what you're gonna say.
Whatever. And he's like, this stuff is great, and I'm like, dude, you're on crack, man. This is like back it off, old guy. And so we had the Donald Fagen CD that we played for everyone, and people would come in and be like the same way. It's like, yeah, this sounds wonderful. Do you have anything that's from this century? And you'd be like, yeah, hold on, and you'd play something else, or they'd just be like, wow, because it demoed fantastic. And it wasn't until the Wheels, right? It wasn't until much later in life where it was like when I started to realize like there's more than boom, boom, and I was like, I need something to play that isn't that because I didn't have anything. And so we went on this journey, me and my buddy, of finding music, and it's like, he of course walks up with a Steely Dan CD and goes, just play this.
Yeah.
I go, oh yeah, that music, because there again, it was a long period of time, and I was like, oh shit.
I can see you playing Once Bitten, Twice Shy, and he's like, kid, come here. Look, this is what we're gonna.
I'm like Dickie Doctor going over to, and it's like, oh.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You know who would disagree with you about the gear?
Yeah.
Our good friend Billy Joel, man. He said, get your cheap set of speakers. It's still rock and roll to him.
Yeah, Billy Joel's an idiot. Yeah. But no, Steely Dan is, and it's funny too, because it is in in my demo tracks.
Yeah.
I have two Steely Dan songs that I'll play for the customers when I'm doing my final.
Yeah.
And I will tell you what they are, because you're gonna ask. Someone always asks, oh, which ones? And the problem is that a lot of the times I like so much of one thing, I'll just grab two random songs and put it in to the playlist, and then be like, I'll just get stuck listening to the same two songs, and they'll be like, there's like 10 other songs, and I'll be like, yeah. So
this is the one I like.
Yeah. So no, there's just the two that fell into the playlist. So I played Josie or Deacon Blue.
Yeah, good tracks.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I want to play two that I know that these guys will probably have heard before. But it's always so funny when you get the young kid in the car. By young kid, I mean somebody in their 30s.
Right.
Okay, so younger than me. And you'll play some of these older songs, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I know this song. Yeah, because their parents, they're still at home with their parents, and their parents are listening to this shit. And so they're like, oh, and they almost have that look on their face like, dude, it don't sound like this in my dad's car. Oh, dude, he's going to shit his pants when he hears this. This sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
I'm going to throw you a curveball. How about
crack was about when Dean was a teenager? Crack was back, man. Dude, you got to remember, man, we had, Ronald Reagan, Nancy Reagan.
Yeah.
War on drugs.
Well, when I was a teenager, Master P put out an album and a track specifically tells you how to make crack out of cocaine. So
well, there you go. That was way after my time.
Yeah.
I missed that.
So let me throw one from your time.
Yeah.
Wham! Everything She Wants.
So no.
Yeah. That one's a jam. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
but that so that's the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 80s, um, the 80s for me was a was not was music, right? That was we had 80s music, and that was in my point in the 80s, it was making cassettes, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I was in middle and high school. I graduated in 90. So that was that time frame of high school, middle school, high school. And so, we were making cassettes. That's what we were doing with that. And I wasn't really, top 40 to me back then was a new thing because, again, coming from
Yeah.
rock and roll kind of got put on the back burner in the 80s because everything was becoming pop. Even rock and roll, you had Rat and Heavy
Mhm.
and Twisted Sister and all these Quiet Riot and all these
Yeah.
bands. Motley Crue was coming out, and they were all hair bands.
Mhm.
Def Leppard was big, and they were all top 40. So it was like it wasn't unheard of to hear like Wham in something that was metal.
Dire Straits.
Yeah, and you're like, this is
Yeah.
weird.
Dude,
But
I I I love 80s pop. I love the synth and just that song how it starts that bump, 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 wow, and then the vocals. That song is. How do you feel about Billy Ocean?
I love Billy Ocean. I just
Okay, all right.
yeah, yeah,
Listen,
I got all the Billy Ocean shit.
listen. I was fixing to cancel the show,
No, no, no.
but
I got
Billy
all the
Ocean
Billy
brought
Ocean.
it back. So
No, no. Billy Ocean is that I liked Billy. I didn't like Wham. I liked Billy
yeah.
Ocean.
So
You
what?
know?
I would say most people know probably Caribbean Queen.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one, I don't care how many times it gets played. Now, probably in the 80s, it got way overplayed,
Oh, it got hammered, bro.
but like nowadays, I jam it every time it comes on.
Yeah, it's there was a couple other ones too. You had a couple of the I can't think of their names. Steve Winwood. There you go.
Higher Love.
Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
Winwood was good. And then you're addicted to love.
Yeah,
Not by Winwood, but by the other guys.
that's
Sade. So
oh,
Sade was a weird one. Sade
yeah,
was good for like one or two songs.
yeah.
And then you just kind of like
I think I would pick Sade over Sade, but they're similar.
I don't
Robert
know, man.
Palmer.
Robert Palmer, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Dude, when Robert Palmer dropped on the scene with Sex
yeah.
Rock, oh my god. Like we all knew, but no, it was like, I'm gonna be normal. I'm gonna put some pussy in front of you.
Yeah.
And we're all just we like Robert Palmer.
There you go.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of songs that just way got overplayed.
So that was 90s. Yeah.
Right,
So there
yeah.
again. And it was by the time the 90s rolled around, it was I had moved on to, because you remember the 90s was right at when hip hop was, that late 80s and then into the 90s, hip hop was just king, man.
Yeah.
Because in the late 80s, NWA dropped on the scene and everybody in the world just, so from like 88 to about 92, all I listened to was hip hop. And then we went on the journey, we started listening to what we call the sound quality music.
Yeah.
And that was all we listened to. So it was like PM Dawn and all that, trying to find that groovy shit. And so I missed so with my attention span, like missed out on Chronic. Totally missed the Chronic. I had my installers coming in, singing that shit, and I'm going, the fuck you guys doing?
Yeah.
Had a lot of
that was 96 probably, right? The Chronic. I think
don't know, I missed the whole
NWA was like 91 to 93-ish era. Yeah. Well, there's
Thomas Dolby. Oh, yeah, it was good.
So I go down a YouTube rabbit hole all the time. I watch YouTube mostly more than anything else, and I watch like music documentaries on there where they're interviewing people, and they interviewed Mike Posner. You may never have heard him, but he sings that song. You think you're cooler than me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that guy, one hit wonder, right?
Yeah.
Well, he was like, he's a music writer and a performer. And he's talking about how he done that album, and the next album was he got a platinum album another platinum album, a gold album, and a bronze album, all in a row, right?
Right.
Everyone to the music label is a failure, because it wasn't another platinum album. So he's coming up with these songs, and he's talking about, well, I had this whole album that was ready to release. And he said, in my mind, all the songs were bangers. One of them was Sugar. He's like, this is a great song. People just don't want to hear me sing it.
Right.
So he's behind the scenes. He wrote that for Maroon 5, and there was a couple others I can't think of the top of my head right now. But like that whole album, he sublet out to other people, and they made #1 hits out of them. Nice. And he's like, now he said, well, he's like, I still love to perform and sing. He said, but I mean, people want to hear these other people sing what I write. So I'm going to do a little bit of both.
Well, we watched it. There was a documentary on recently about that too. Where's the behind the music thing?
Yeah.
You'll have to let me know what podcast that is, because I'll watch it. I like that shit. But no, it was like, they were interviewing all these guys. It was about people writing in Tennessee. So Nashville. It was a Nashville. So it was primarily country, but they did touch on some other things. And they had the guy on that helped write Dude Looks Like a Lady from Aerosmith.
Yeah.
So the story goes, he walks into a bar to meet up with the lead singer, Aerosmith guy, and the guitarist guy. I don't know. Whatever their stupid names are. Anyways, they're sitting at the bar.
Tyler, I know. That's the only one I know.
Steve Tyler. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. It's a lot going on. And so sitting at the end of the bar is this blonde thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're just like, they're trying, he comes in and they're like, hey man, what's going on? And they're trying to figure out who's got enough courage to go down and talk to the person at the end of the bar. Okay. And just then they turn around. It was the lead singer of Motley Crue.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Vince Neil.
Yeah.
So they go, Dude Looks Like a Lady. Hence the song. Dude Looks Like a Lady. So if you're ever trying to figure out if that song is really about a dude that looked, yes, 100%. They went back, wrote the song, and the rest is history. But it was Vince Neil that they saw.
Dude, people forgot. They forgot the 80s, and we've been through this before, and it's rolled back again. Dude Looks Like a Lady.
Yeah. So YouTube's Professor of Rock. I love watching the Professor of Rock. Yeah, I watch him. I'm assuming I watch him because a lot of you guys watched him and it just hit my thing. But no, I love watching the Professor of Rock.
Yeah.
That guy is really good. It's almost annoying.
Some of those, I in my opinion, a lot of those YouTube documentaries are much better than what you see produced on TV. Yeah. The quality maybe not be, but the information, like they actually,
they do a much better job. Yeah. There's some things that he does in his thing that just irritate me, but I get past it because the information he's doing is really good. There's another show too where they bring on drummers.
I love that, dude. I don't know what it's called, but I love that.
Yeah, where they bring on the drummer
without drums and they play their own drums to it. Yes.
Oh, that is fantastic. And I've actually found some good drummers that have done some really cool songs because of that. And like, I'm like, oh, dude, I like this person.
SJC. He's the same way. He's now, yes, Drumeo. DR saved it. That is freaking awesome. Well, and the crazy thing is, a lot of times they end up very close to the original.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this song was just like, it was meant to sound like this.
Right. It is funny too, because like the guys do such a good job of like, I am subscribed. Okay, never mind.
There you go. I believe I'm subscribed to. But I've seen so many of those videos that
Drum Dreams by ELO. Yeah. Steve, ELO.
Yeah, Chad Smith was on one of the ones that I just seen. Yeah, that's very cool.
So the moral to the story is there's a lot of really good songs out there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I went to school for architecture. Believe it or not, that was the course that Dean was taking, and Dean decided to jump that course and go headlong into car stereo. Everybody makes poor life choices.
That's what I thought I was going to grow up to be.
An architect?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my. I was really good at it too.
Yeah.
But this seemed like a better idea. Stupid. But when we were taking our creative drawing class, the teacher said one of those lifelong lesson moment. I had one of those moments that was just like, he said something that just stuck with me forever. And the purpose of the class was to learn how to draw examples of what, rendering. So here's the blueprints. Here's what the house is supposed to look like. Now take this and draw it and make it look like it's in a real version
Right.
of the house. Okay. So you can give these people that aren't, conceptual people ideas. And so we would have to draw, we would have to go into magazines. We'd have to find stuff that we wanted to recreate and draw. And there was this one guy that drew this amazing picture, and it looked just like the picture and he says, man, you did a fantastic job copying a shitty picture. And I was like, oh, dang. Like, so the moral to the story was, don't recreate something that is trash.
Yeah.
Just find something that is amazing. And with music, especially when we're tuning a car or listening to a car, we have to make sure that the music we're listening to sounds good first.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will just, the car is the first time they're hearing the song. And you're like, okay, so we don't have that benchmark of what this is supposed to sound like. We think we do because we've heard it our whole lives, but if we've always heard it in a poor environment, then playing it in the car, well, how do you know it's supposed to sound like that? How do you really know? So now you're tuning the car to something that might actually not sound good.
Right.
So I pose the question of, everyone should have some form of a reference, something that they've listened to something on and they understand how it's supposed to sound, what they're supposed to be getting from it, so that when they get into the car and they start playing it, they realize like, okay, this is what it should be doing. It's not doing that. Why? And then we can work our way through trying to figure out why it doesn't sound the way it's supposed to sound, because I know when someone gives me a new track and they're like, play this, and I'm like, I don't know what this is supposed to sound like, and I'm totally lost.
Right.
I mean, I'll literally sit there and panic because I'm like, I don't know what this is supposed to do. Like,
Yeah.
is that sucky part right there supposed to be there?
Yeah.
You're like, Fernando has this one song that we've talked about before that he plays, and it's got a distortion in it, and it's annoying as hell. But he's listening for something else. But my ear just goes right to that distortion, and I go, "This song sucks. I wish you wouldn't play it. At least not when I'm in the car."
Exactly.
Because immediately I think there's something wrong, and I know there's not.
Right.
Well,
Well, that's like
reference is a must.
when I would test amps here on the bench. I have an old pair of Sony bookshelves that I've had since the early 2000s, and I don't listen to those. They're like, "Oh, those are cheap speakers from the." Oh, yeah, you didn't say anything wrong. But what I can tell you is, I have listened to hundreds of amps.
Yeah.
In this setup on these speakers. So for me, that's the best way to tell if something's different between an amp.
Right.
Because the speakers are at a level, they're a mediocre level.
Right.
But often I also have a pair of Kefs that if I'm in a video now, I put the Kefs on there so everyone can see that. And they're like, oh yeah, now you got expensive speakers, So
the only problem with great headphones, and I have a lot of great headphones, is that you don't get the room.
Yeah.
Unless you have some really nice open backs and people that don't mind you playing them, you really don't get the room, so it all just kind of envelops here. It's very hard to get this big sound. So, because everything is just, it's all here. Whereas like open back headphones, you can kind of get that because you can feel the room.
Yeah.
But everyone hates you. So, I have a really nice pair that I've got to listen to like 5 times.
Yeah.
Well,
it's probably my best setup is I've had reference speakers on this desk, on a different desk actually, but it was in this position where that's where I would listen to music, and It was okay. I hate actually listening to music like that. I would rather have headphones.
Right.
So that's why I ended up getting rid of them. And I'll just, if I'm in here, I'll just listen to headphones for that
No,
reason.
and that's probably fine. It's just
Yeah.
like, you know, when we started the show out, it's like I edit these with I can't even remember what they're called. Really nice set of headphones. But I've always used a really nice set of headphones when editing. I've
Yeah.
always had just really nice so that I know what I'm doing, you know, whether you have a shitty headphones or not. You
Yeah.
know, I guess I should put in Apple earbuds and edit with that, but
I
I
test
want it better.
mine on all different. So I have the monoprice monolith headphones
Yeah.
that I use for editing when I first edit, but then I listen to it on the plug-in earbuds, the Apple ear,
Yeah.
the actual plug-in ones, and then I just listen to it on my phone. I try to bounce it between the three.
Sort of makes a lot. Put it on the glass. My wife hates me when I listen to a reference song in the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a so it was funny. One Sunday, let me rephrase that. One Sunday, I'm sitting there and you know, I was editing and I wanted to listen to some music. I have tons of little Bluetooth speakers because we all know I just like them. So I have this little tiny JBL little Bluetooth speakers made to go on like your handlebars or some shit like that. And I got it sitting on the table and I'm just listening to music. It's
Yeah.
playing in the background. I'm doing some mundane shit. And Sue's sitting there and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Work." She's like, "Yeah, but why are we listening to it on that shitty thing in the corner of the room when you have all of this?" And I go, "I didn't want to bother you guys." And she goes, "Oh yeah, listening to it like crap, that's not going to bother us." And I go, "All right, well, fine. You know, shut this off, turn this
Put the
on,
big
and here
one
we
on.
go."
There you
You
go.
know, and I was like, "All right, cool."
For people that want like a baseline reference headphone, these are the ones you need. Let's see if I can get all the pop-up ads out there. The Sony MDR 7506. They're $100. That is the cheapest good pair of headphones you get for editing.
So Rode has their headphones now.
Yeah, those are $250 though.
Are they?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
I think I might be wrong.
I honestly have no idea. When they came out, I bought both those. I bought
Yeah,
Fernando a pair. I bought myself a pair.
they're only $150. I
They're
haven't listened to those yet.
they're so nice.
Yeah,
They feel really good. I'm
yeah,
thinking about if these, because I got to buy new pads for the ones I have. I've just worn them out,
yeah,
and I don't know if I want to spend the $20 to buy new pads.
yeah.
But
I
you know,
hate
the other thing too is that
it.
when like editing headphones, you don't need the best pair. You just need a really good pair
Yeah,
because you don't want them to be super inefficient. Because you're not running them through an amplifier or anything like that. You're just pulling them off of the laptop thing.
yeah.
So that's also a caveat when
I will say though, this iMac, like when you plug headphone, I think it's got a headphone amp in it because I plugged some Hi-Fi Man HE400s in there, and those are kind of notoriously hard to drive, and they sounded pretty decent, surprisingly.
I've never had a problem. I mean,
Yeah,
I have some Daconis that
yeah,
are like, and you know, they sound great, you
yeah.
know, and I bought a couple pairs of the same headphones just in different impedances
Right,
just so
yeah.
I could figure out what the hell they're talking about. You know, I was like, all
Right.
right, well, you know, because you get this. I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah.
screw it, I'll buy them both.
Yeah,
I went full
this is
stupid
a
there for a while.
600 ohm impedance. You need you need to just plug it into a wall socket to make it sound okay.
Yeah, yeah. Japanese can't make speakers. That's not true.
No, I would disagree.
I would totally disagree with that.
Yeah.
So best headphones ever made are electrostatic.
I don't think I've ever, and I was really into it like the time
Yeah.
whenever my daughter was born and 2012 I got back into it. I was out of cardio into headphones because I could listen to those without bothering anybody.
Yeah, I got a set of Grados. So the electrostatics they're super expensive. They need what's called an exciter in
Yeah.
order to get them to work. It's on my wish list of things to own.
Right.
You can get like a combo pack of like the exciter and they're called Stacks. Stacks is the brand. But Sennheiser actually has the best pair, apparently the best pair ever made. It's in a museum somewhere. They were called like the Sophias or some shit like that. Anyways, Stax is kind of the new thing. But you can buy like the exciter and the headphone for like 25 to $5,000.
Right.
And it's like, how often do I get to listen to these things?
Right.
You know, because they're open back. So that means no one can be home.
That's our 900. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say, shout out to if you're looking for a cheap headphone setup, like a DAC and a headphone amp combo, Shit Audio.
Oh, yeah.
They're like 400 for the pair, and they're really, really nice for the money. They're some of the best you get for the money, in my opinion.
There you go, Mike. Yeah, thanks. It's something silly like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. No shit. Yeah, that's cool. I got to the point to where I was like, I've already spent a lot of money.
Right.
And I need to stop because I'm never going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
So I just called it quits.
The sad truth is, most of the time now, you know what my go-to headphones are?
Apple.
Yeah, AirPods Pros.
Dude, I will say this. So I had the Sonys for the airplane, whatever the 4s, I think. Anyways, I had those for the plane. Best noise canceling, hands down, best noise canceling ever. They were like my 4th pair. I had Sennheisers. I tried the Kickers. And then I got the Sonys because everyone's like Sony. And by far, Sony's best noise canceling. Problem is, small cups, big ears. And by the time I'd get off the plane, I was ready to kill somebody because my head was just killing me.
Yeah.
Bought the Focals. Not as good at noise canceling. Don't care because the comfort is amazing. Oh my God.
Nice.
Dude, they're like having 2 little fat baby butts right on the side of your head. Just like, oh my God, they feel so good. You know,
I hate over-the-ear headphones for that reason. That's why I'm an in-ear guy. My best sounding pair that I have are probably the Klipsch, what's the TS5 Mark III or something like that. Not expensive. They're like 150. They're cheaper than the Pros, but I think they sound better. They just don't have noise canceling or anything.
Yeah, no. They feel so nice. I love them. I just walked up to Fernando and go, "Here you go." I have mine, you know, because I don't need to keep them. I mean, you know, I've got so many pairs of headphones. It's ridiculous. And then I keep getting more. Like Kicker sent me a new pair of something, and I'm like, oh, I got a really nice pair of gaming headphones. I'm like, I don't game. I'm gonna do with these.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but Bluetooth speakers, I'll never have enough of those.
Yeah. So, and I'm fixing to order another one. So
yeah, no, biggie.
I'm gonna get the biggie. Give it a try.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Have a great time.
We'll see you again next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.